Good morning, evening, or afternoon, my friends, wherever you're watching from. I am pretty stoked today because, as always, I think that sometimes you get tired of hearing just my voice, and so I bring in really smart people to help me talk about the news and marketing and branding and things you can do to differentiate yourself online. And it's hard to find two nerdier people than the people I have on today. And by the way, if you are watching, make sure you tag a friend, make sure you share this video, make sure you do all that cool stuff online that you're going to do. But it's hard to find a group of nerdier friends than I have right here. So today with me, not only do we have Phil, but we have Beth. So meet my friends, Bill and Beth. Beth is so nerdy that it's like in her business name. Beth is so nerdy, she wanted to be inside a computer, inside your computer, while she's inside my computer. So she's like, well, what's that movie where you're like, dream is inside of a dream? What was that movie called?
I think that's
What, a walk in the clouds?
No. What was it, Beth?
I think it's the whole Lifetime channel, isn't it?
Oh, boom, right there. No, it was that movie with Matt Damon where he was like in a dream kind of thing. Oh, it'll come to us here a little bit. Anyways, Beth is here, Phil are here, and we've got some pretty geeky topics to talk to you about today. We usually do on the show, we talk about some news topics that are going to kind of be important for you to pay attention to in your marketing business or in your service business. So we've got a couple of news topics to cover with you, which our experts are going to weigh in on. And then we've got a particular topic today we're going to go a little bit deeper on. And it just turned out that this was a really good topic because these two people right here are people that I know are really good at standing out, whether it's their appearance, whether it's how they present, whether it's just their general presence. I've noticed that Phil and Beth tend to stand out a lot. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about rogue marketing, standing out, guerrilla marketing type thing. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. But let's talk about the topics of the day. Well, all three of us here are Mac people because I don't allow Apple Windows people to even come on my live streams anymore. That's just no point in that. And as we know, the past 12 to 15 months, Apple's come out with their new machines. Apple did a release where they came out with even more machines. So does somebody want to kind of catch us up on that? If not, I can do it.
Yeah, well, Apple is always trying to innovate, trying to get better, faster. Finally, instead of just a small step forward to an M1 chip, now they've got even faster machines. They're saying it's, 2 to 4 times faster on the top end of that. So really what that means is you won't notice the difference today, but you probably notice the difference in a couple years, unless you're upgrading, from a couple generations ago. So if you're going from a 2015 or 2017 to the 2021, 2022 version, you'll probably notice that. But if you just upgraded about a year and a half ago, you're probably squared away. But as we get more video, right, this is super important to do because these slow processors, probably what many of us have today, but probably not tomorrow, are the cause of some of these pixelated craziness on video.
Now, Beth, I've always considered you the kind of person that's like on the bleeding edge because I know when like the M1 machines came out, I thought you upgraded pretty soon after that. Are you going to upgrade soon? Are you an M1 person? What's your take kind of on the latest and greatest here?
So when I am in my logical mind, here is my take. One of the things that I realized, so I had a Mac that I had about 2 years, MacBook Pro, and when we all went home and we all started doing webinars and I started doing all these special effects, I just went out and first I bought a Windows machine. That was a mistake. I'm just saying. And I spent, several $1,000s on a Windows machine. Yep, shake your head. But then I went ahead and bought my Mac, and it wasn't even spec'd out Mac, right? It was just whatever they had in the store. I'm like, forget it. I can't handle this. So I bought that. The M1s came along in the fall, and I was like, on it, bought it. And I bought the Mac Mini, and I had it sitting right here, and I never used it. I never set it up because I like the portability. I was doing a little traveling, and I just couldn't, even though they did sync, they didn't sync instantly, and it just wasn't as seamless as I wanted. And I ended up only using one machine. So if anybody needs one, it's sitting right there. But the thing that I'm really amazed at, other than the tiny little pixelation thing that we're enjoying right now, is that this machine, which I bought last August, is amazing. I am doing more video now than I have ever done. And I am pushing it. The other day I had Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, Ecamm, all of these heavy hitters open at the same time. And I seriously was not sweating. My other one, you opened up Microsoft Word and it started breathing heavy. This one, the one before this. So as we look at the M1s that are coming out, they are going to be phenomenal. But Mac has been phenomenal in this multitasking for a couple years. And you're going to find that if you're not ready to invest in the M1, you want to wait for the M74 or whatever you want. If you just back up and do the 2020s, you're probably going to have a machine that's so strong for you. Because seriously, all of the buttons and the things that I use are insane, and it was flawless. So now I'm going to knock on some stuff because that
might
means
catch on fire in an hour
as soon as we get off the phone, or off the stream. But that's where I am. Is that they did upgrade these things. They took away the touch bar, which kills me personally.
Oh, you're
really?
a lover.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. And here's why. When I am doing presentations, I switch back from the web demos on my computer and PowerPoint, right? And I have them over my screen and have these special effects. So I can't have my PowerPoint being the full screen with the notes, but I still have to have that navigation.
Okay.
So with the touch bar, I have the navigation because I have, for every presentation I do, I have 75 slides. Wow. And then I can only present 12 of them, right? So whichever way the wind is blowing, I'm picking new slides, and I can't have that. So I am contemplating how to deal with that problem, because the way I play it is in Windows, in a window, rather than as a full screen. Now, they took that away. Most people hated it. I found it incredibly helpful, and I'm not sure how I'm going to live without it, which is why I think I am not. Wow, that was 75 minutes of me saying, I'm going to wait unless I get a wild hair and go, I can't stand it. Patrick and Bill have more than I do, and I just can't. And I will run to the store. I will just order it and expect it tomorrow.
I wonder if you can get like one of the miniature Stream Decks, not the full one I have, but like I was going to
say get an Elgato. Yeah.
Well, I have two right here. I have two Stream Decks. The challenge is I need to see every slide.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I can say, okay, I'm not going to cover that topic. However, this is getting into a Microsoft feature because I use PowerPoint. Microsoft has y'all remember Prezi?
Yes.
Yep. Still people
Prezi,
use
the
it.
presentation tool. Those of you who are out. Prezi is that tool where you have kind of a bulletin board and you can navigate slide by slide, step by step, or you can click around the screen. Well, PowerPoint actually has that built in. They call it a zoom to slide thing, and you can actually put slides on every screen. So I've been experimenting with it, and I'm like, I can put a whole section's worth of slides, or I can put one slide that goes to each section, and it'll come back here. There's not a lot of fanciness there, but it's a workaround for me, and I think I have a problem that maybe other people don't have. But when I'm presenting, because I need to look at the screen and look at the people and look at the other things that I'm doing, I can't have that whole presenter view that takes over everything that I have. I have to have it in a small box so that I can navigate and do other things.
Got it. I find probably the most interesting part I find about that is you use, whether it is Keynote or whether it is PowerPoint, ways I've never heard of people using it before. I'm very much a linear presenter. I just got back from an insurance conference in San Antonio, and I live and die by presenter view. That's the only way I know of what I'm talking about next. Because I put together my slide deck, I get all my thoughts, I get all my notes in, and then if things get out of order for me, I get a little verklempt. So I have to go in order. I can't jump around like you. Well, I suppose I could if I had like a meta slide that told me about things, but I've just never heard somebody use it the way you're using it before. So you have unique requirements, and it sounds to me like even though you're an Apple person, you're still like a big Microsoft software person. Is that pretty fair assessment?
Can I cuss on here?
Just
Just a little bit.
It's my
One
fucking live stream.
five-letter
I don't
word.
give one rat's ass if you cuss or not.
Microsoft Word is my bitch. I boom it. Right now, I am writing a book using outline forms, and those outline forms end up being fields, and those fields can be exported and manipulated, and that's how I wrote a book. I mail merged my 6th book. I'm going to mail merge other pieces, and I can do tables, and I can do, and I love it. I love it so
you're a
much.
Power user. You would definitely be a power user.
Yeah, I try to not use it. Like, I don't need it anymore as much, but I'm like, if I give it up, my heart will hurt.
Got it. You have an emotional attachment to a piece of software.
Wow.
I have no idea.
Well, this is why, by the way, we're talking about branding and speaking your truth and living in your presence or whatever it is. Listen to Beth and how she talks about some of the tools she used. This is why she is your nerdy best friend. I mean, you can even see it right down there in the corner. She wears it right there. There's stuff behind her that talks about your nerdy best friend. It's right down the corner. I had to go lift this little logo from her website over here. We were chatting about this Saturday or Friday, I think, but to get this just right. So this is somebody who knows their tools. So not saying if you ever have any kind of event and you want to bring Beth in, you want to get super geeky, that I would be promoting her, but it's too late. I already said it. It's stuck on Facebook. There's nothing you can do about it now. I kind of screwed the pooch here if you have. So she knows these tools, and every time I talk to her, I learn more and more about how much you know. So, wow. So in other words, what we're saying is Beth, when all this M1 stuff came out, getting back to where we started there, she did go deep. I think you went deep like I did because we were both in eCam world. And that's why I bought my Mac M1. And so I'm totally an M1 person now. I actually made the mistake of going too deep into Apple world, if this is even possible. Up until about 2 weeks ago, I had just about every Apple product that they made. I had the giant iPad, an iMac, a Mac Mini, a MacBook Pro with the Touch Bar, the Apple Watch, and the iPhone. I had all of that. And I was on a long business trip and realized I was hauling around a pretty heavy-ass backpack. And so I decided to completely downsize, sold off almost everything except for the Mini, and now I have an M1 MacBook Air. And of course, I do all this rearrangement work like a week before Apple comes out with all of their new stuff. So I'm one of those guys that upgraded just in time to be out of date. That's what I call it, is when you upgrade
Good work.
just in time.
Or you sold it, so now you've
be out
got
of
the
date.
money. You can go buy the new one.
Oh, no, we're not going to. I need to keep this stuff for a couple of years. Get this. Well done, Beth. I had mine all set up too. But fortunately, all the stuff I sold ended up paying for the MacBook Air. So, and the MacBook Air, I think, is more powerful because of the generation of chips. So we've got to get onto our topic. That MacBook Air has been more powerful than my MacBook Pro was. Because like Beth, I've got Final Cut Pro installed on there. I got 16 gig of memory and a terabyte hard drive. And it's over there right now, upgrading to the Monterey. But that thing smokes. That thing smokes, and it's small enough now that I can pull it out on my little teeny tiny American Airlines food tray, and I can get some work done and get my peanut sprinkles all inside my keyboard right there. Peanut sprinkles inside your keyboard. That needs to become a catchphrase.
What level are you to get peanuts? I'm looking to get back to that place where they would actually give me peanuts.
I'm just gold right now. I'm still sitting back in the cattle car section, so. I think it may be that I buy the peanuts myself, and I get maybe like the additional crackers and a little thing of Sprite.
Southwest says people have peanut allergens, so there's no more peanuts on Southwest.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Makes me sad.
That's ridiculous. Okay, let's keep moving on. I'm going to skip the Facebook name change, and let's briefly talk about this. This third topic, news topic here I put in was about email marketing, because this is a big part of my world. And I would like both of your opinion on it also to see if it's impacted any of your clients at all. Because it actually gets back to the Apple thing. Apple made a change recently in their email software. The two things happen now. Number one, they block the information that gets back that registers email opens to email software. And it's very easy now if you're using an iCloud account and the Apple Mail client to ask for like an anonymous email address. So like if I want to subscribe to Phil's newsletter, I think Safari comes up and says, hey, do you want to create a new fake email address to use just with Phil's email service? And it'll create a dynamic one. It'll forward to my main one still. Am I getting this right, Beth?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll forward to my main one still, but my email address on Phil's list is in a unique one just for Phil's email account. And you can already do this with Gmail and creating a plus sign after it, which is the way I did it before. But people that, really want to try to remain anonymous online are using this now. So like every single email newsletter they sign up for, there is a unique email address and there's not as much information tracked there. Let's talk, Phil. Let's talk for you about this for a little bit. Are you using this feature at all? Do you know anybody that's using this? What's your take on this one?
Well, it's pretty new, so I'm not using it yet. I have used the Google one. Whenever I sign up for somebody's newsletter, that I'm like, I'm not sure if they're someone that I want to give my full email address to because I'm worried they might spam me. I've always done that, but I absolutely see this being the norm. I see that, you're not going to be able to go from, your newsletter to retargeting on Facebook or LinkedIn or any of this. I mean, we're going to start seeing, it's platform by platform by platform. And unless you own the relationship and you really own the relationship, you're not going to have anything. So I bet we're going to see an even stronger push to text-based opt-ins, because your phone number is not spoofable yet, right? That being said, right, if you use Google Voice, you can forward, right? But I mean, it's harder and it takes a little more technical smarts, and most people don't even understand they can do that yet. So it's going to be interesting, though. To your point, Patrick, I see more and more people. If it's click a button, give a fake email, why not? Who cares? Doesn't matter. And then you could set up a box, because then everything will go to the non-priority inbox, to the if you send a Phil at Phil Gerbyshak, very different than if you send it to Beelzebub 67, which forwards to Phil at Phil Gerbyshak, right? That's a different conversation.
Got it. So what about you, Beth? Are you using this feature at all? Because I don't know. First of all, I don't have an iCloud email address, so I've had a chance to take advantage of this. How about you, Beth? Are you digging into this at all?
So I've been doing these things for years. In the past, I'm writing a new book, and I sign up for tons of stuff. And for years, I've been using a tool called Burner Mail, and I almost never start out giving people my real email. So I've been using it for years. What I think is going to happen is that you've got the 7% of any kind of users who are very interested in protecting their privacy. And then you've got the 93% who won't take an extra step, who don't understand that extra step, or they don't have the particular configuration, because you have to be using Apple Mail, which I don't use. You have to have iCloud storage, which I don't have. For some reason, I have a problem. I give everybody else money for extra storage. I don't know why I don't give it to Apple. But those are two things. You have to be using Apple Mail, which I don't do. And I can't get people who know that they can't reuse passwords to take those steps. I can't get people to stop giving out their phone number, which I highly recommend. And now I'm talking to people who want people to give that information so we can market and we can retarget. It's going to stay easy, because even if it is easy, it has to be so easy that they don't even know it's happening. And I'm not trying to say that people are lazy at all. I just think they have other things on their mind, and taking that one step, I do think it's going to be 7% of Apple owners. Google rolled out a password trial thing. LastPass has one, right?
Right.
Most people, even if they're using LastPass or Google passwords, are still not changing their passwords. Like, they're saving the same 6 ones they use for every single thing. They're just saving those 6, right? They're not taking the extra steps. So you've got most people who are not going to do anything. And the 7% who are going to do something are already concerned and doing things.
Right.
So I don't think we're going to see a huge change because it's an extra step that most people won't take, in my humble opinion.
So I have a quick question for you on the password thing you talked about. I've noticed in Safari recently, because I kind of use both browsers, that Safari's warning me that a password I have saved someplace has been compromised on the internet. It's checking a centralized database. Are you saying that Chrome does the same thing now?
Chrome, I think it did it before
Okay.
Safari did. Now, I don't save my passwords in Safari. I don't save them in any browser, mainly because 2 years ago, they weren't very good, 2.5 years ago.
Right.
And then they got noticeably better, all of them. They all upgraded. I have been using an independent password manager for many years and saying you have to use something. And storing them in the browser used to be incredibly insecure. Insecure, bad, whatever.
I think people are insecure. Browsers are unsecure. If your browser's ever insecure, then your browser has become self-aware, and it's a totally different issue.
I think that's happening too. But Google did it several years ago and was doing those checkups and was giving you those pieces. And when I saw the statistics, and they're like, we tell them it has been compromised, and they don't do anything. Because Patrick, I'm going to ask you, you were told that things were compromised. Did you go back in and make that change?
Oh, we got to get on to the next topic.
Yeah, I'm here to
Suddenly, Beth has been disconnected from the show.
Oh, yeah. Whoa. Boy, look how blurry
at the time.
got all of a sudden, and all pixelated and everything. By the way,
that's a really good point.
It didn't clear up. Yeah.
You are tech. You know how you need to do that, and you don't do that. So again, now we're talking the 1% who will do that.
Yeah. I go on TV talking about this stuff. I go on this TV talking about two-factor authentication. Fox locally calls me and says, hey, Patrick, can you come on the news tonight and talk about secure passwords? Like, sure, no problem. Here's the password of my Zoom account. Set up the meeting for us. No, I don't do it that bad. But yeah, you're right. I am totally, totally guilty of this, and I'm going to feel bad for the rest of the day.
Well, hold on. So Patrick, do you do that though for important accounts? Like, is your bank account still I love Phil 57 exclamation point?
No,
right?
I mean,
is it something harder
now?
58. Good. It's good. It's incremented, right? It's important to do that. But I mean, really though, so that's my thing. I get the same thing. And I know it's reused on this site that I don't go to anymore. It's probably on, right? Like it's expired stuff.
Right.
And I think, I agree with Beth where it's the 1% of the 1% that likely have this, but I don't know though. I'm curious if one more click to say, hey, you can stop getting this spam if my mom's going to click that, right? I don't know. That's a really awesome question, Beth, and I don't know the answer, right? I don't know, because I'll tell you, she whines every time we talk about how much spam she gets, right? She's like, oh my gosh, how do these people get my email? My email's no good, but I don't want to change my email address. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. For secure, really quick, a quick point. For the secure stuff, I am super secure. Like everything financial is two-factor authentication. I usually use a unique email address. I use Face ID on the phone. I mean, I'm super tight about the financial accounts. It's the other stuff that I'm a little bit lax on. Just a little bit. Not totally lax, just a little bit lax.
So every time I have this conversation with true nerds, the excuses start to come. They're like, well, I don't do it, but here's why. And I have real reasons, and I do take, and it's hard for me to do it. I tell you, I've had a lot of work done on my website lately, and I just went to the new CRM on Zoho, and I've been having people come in, and they're like, "Could you just give me your password to get in?" And it's so easy to just give my password, but I'm like, nope. We are going to generate a new user for you. I'm going to take the extra 3 steps, because if I don't do it, and I'm still not perfect.
Right.
In so many ways. But if I don't do it, I can't tell people that they have to do it.
Right. Yeah. And for services that do have multiple user IDs online, like if I have a virtual assistant doing something like you're doing, or like your designer would do something, I will create multiple accounts. Like nobody has my Patrick WordPress password besides me. I'll create other roles for VAs and give them their password so I can kick them out if I ever need to. So you bring up a very good point there also. So yes, what Beth is saying is that Beth eats her own dog food and Patrick does not. And Patrick even gives out the advice and doesn't eat his own dog food. So I will confess to being 100% guilty on that. So, but man, it sounds like the three of us could probably talk for 3 or 4 hours on these topics right here. So now pick a topic and talk about it for an hour. But we've got to move on at some point in time because the three of us have to get off and actually make some money at some point also. I thought out of, the three of us met, I believe all three of us met via the National Speakers Association. And I've noticed that out of all the people, I mean, there are plenty of unique branding things, but the three of us, for some reason, are number one, we're tight friends, we're pretty nerdy, and usually our marketing and branding stands out. So I thought this would be a good topic to talk about for people when it comes to like how to present yourself in a unique way, whether it's what you wear, glasses, or the colors, or the things behind you, or how you talk about yourself, or like what Beth does, like on stage. It sounds like Beth has some unique things she does on stage. I thought it would be good to talk about what we do, why we do it, and maybe give the people watching some ideas as to how they can kind of dip their toe in there. So we're not going to say that, if you want to go into the world of unique branding, just dye your hair blonde like all the black rappers and you'll stand out like a sore thumb. We're not going to do that. But I think it would be good to give them some ideas of why we did what we did, how you'd go about doing that, and again, how to dip your toe into it. So really quickly, I dip my toe in, so I'm going to cover kind of what I do to stand out. It's the t-shirts, which I think I got from somebody else. It's bracelets I give out. It's the back of my laptop. It's things I like to do things that just start conversations. To me, it's really good. Like if I'm traveling in the airport and somebody says, what's that on your bracelet? Or, I like your shirt. Or, what does that mean on the back of your laptop? Those to me are good conversation starters, and that's why I do it. Beth, I know everything that you wear from head to toe. I mean, I've never seen any Nerdy Best Friend underclothes, but I'm going to assume there's Nerdy Best Friend underclothes. Everything you wear from head to toe screams your brand. What made you start doing that?
It was a total accident. I got an orange, so mine's orange and blue. I got an orange iPad cover. And I was like, that is so nice. And then I got another orange desk accessory, and I'm like, that is so cute. And it just started growing, and now I have an orange Prius. I jumped the shark. I realized that. But almost everything that I do, not quite everything that I do, but almost everything I do is organic. Like, I just like it, and I just like shiny things, and I wanted something shiny. And when I was coming up with my tagline, "Your Nerdy Best Friend," I was talking to, it was one of my mentors, an NSA member who is no longer in the organization. But I was like, he's like, you got to have something. And I kept throwing ideas, the quick tech trainer and the, tech guru and all these things. And he said, that's not it. That's not it. And I said, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just your nerdy best friend. And I'm like, oh my God, that is actually who I am.
Bam.
Your nerdy best friend. So it was very organic. It wasn't purposeful. I didn't work with anybody. I did work with somebody who helped me with my style and my clothes. And she basically said, please don't wear your high top orange shoes and please stop wearing just black pants. And I no longer work with her because that's all I got.
Right.
It's like, I am not going to wear heels. It is not going to happen. So mine was organic.
Got it. So Phil, how did you, because Phil, I know, is it with the color and with the glasses and with the socks. And I'm not wearing my Phil gifted socks right now, but how did it start for you, and what made you get in that realm of trying to just be a little bit different, a little bit unique?
Yeah, well, it started out with glasses. I knew that I needed to wear glasses, and I actually was pretty hesitant to even rock the glasses, but I try to put contacts in, and if I get my finger too close to my eye, put a contact in, I actually get pretty squeamish. So I can't do that. So I'm like, okay, these are really boring and lame. And I wore Harry Potter glasses before Harry Potter was cool. Like they were really bad. And I've got a big head. So little Harry Potter glasses on Phil's fat head don't fit. So I tried with some silver and slate colored glasses, and those were okay. And then I walked into the glasses place because I was like, well, I need another pair in case these break. And Gary, the guy at the optical place, said, hey, these just came in yesterday, and I bet you'd love these. And at the time, I was like, lime green. Ooh, these are pretty cool. And then for a long time, I had lime green, and I got some yellow ones, and I got a bunch of different colors. And then I wore orange ones for a very long time. I still have them. They're in my wedding pictures. I've used them in my headshot. I love my orange glasses. Yep. But this year, yeah, exactly. Beth's got them hiding behind her there. She's got my orange glasses. Thanks for stealing them, Beth. That's nice of you. And so this year, though, I realized that I like orange, but I like the contrast of white to orange. So I decided I'm going to wear the white glasses. So, and you guys probably don't even know this, but now it will be the white glasses going forward. So the new book, Social Selling Essentials, there will be white glasses in the book. Every chapter will have white glasses that kind of introduce the chapter. So the goal now is to do that. And the reason why is because I don't want to be like everyone else, because I'm not like everyone else, nor is anybody else like everybody else. So I just embrace that. I'm weird and I'm good with that. And it seems to fit. And your point about socks, when I got out of the Navy, I had black socks and white socks. And I, believe it or not, I had Navy socks, but I'm a little bit color deficient, a little bit colorblind. So I would mix up my black and my blue socks. And I was like, well, this doesn't work. I look stupid. Like, I wouldn't notice it, but other people were like, dude, you got in two different socks. I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. And obviously white and black don't work. So I'm like, well, instead of finding the color that perfectly matches the pants, I'm just going to wear socks I like. Right. And funny enough, they happen to be bright colors. They happen to not be what everybody else wears. So I usually can get clearance socks for like $4 a pair because they're colors nobody else wears, but I wear. So that works. But then, I got you some cool socks, Patrick. You came and spoke to our chapter with your face on them, right? I teased you and almost gave you ones with my face on them, which would have been really
also
funny.
Very cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And I still get comments on those to those days. Those are actually my first pair of socks I pack when I go on a speaking engagement. Is I pack my Patrick bald-headed purple socks with my face on them, and every single time they get comments. I don't wear them in the airport, but I could. But yeah, those are the first. That's like if I have to speak like on multiple days, those are my first day socks, always right there. And
awesome.
It's just a little splash of color, I think helps. I'm tempted to wear solid black from head to toe, black athletic shirts, black socks, black shoes, just to keep it simple, so I don't have to think. But I've noticed the older I get, I like to wear black with some kind of splash of color right there. And socks are a really good, socks and belts and glasses, I think for all three of us, are a really good way to have a splash of color without coming in like a wrecking ball right there. So you both of you talked about kind of where you picked up some of this stuff. So if I look in your background, Beth, now, if it's organic with you, so if you just happen to see like an orange Z, you'll pick it up off the shelf, right? Or
yes.
Okay, and like the shoes, I see the shoes back there. Those were probably custom ordered, right? Now, where did you get the glasses, or is that painted on the wall? And I just can't see that it's painted on the wall.
Those were from Etsy, and they are giant glasses. I would get up and show them to you, but I'm unkempt from the belly button down, so I'm not going to show you how.
They didn't pay for that show.
yeah, nobody did. It looks like a ball of fabric that I've been leaving on the floor, which is what it was. But those are big, giant glasses, and you could have them colored, painted any color you wanted. And of course, I got them orange, and they're 5 feet. I mean, they're fun.
What I did, real quick, just so you guys can probably see this in the video back here, I'm going to go full screen Patrick here for a second. Which one's full screen Patrick? Is I of course got. I always forget what this box is called on your mic. It's not called What is it?
Mic. It's a flag. Mic flag.
Flag. Thank you. It's a mic flag.
It's a microphone flag.
That was 50 or $60 and had to go with the whole mic because I was going for the whole radio station kind of look here. This was, I think, a couple $100 on the internet. And again, on Amazon, completely custom. And everyone, I always get this stuff backwards. Everyone can buy these on Amazon, no problem. So these are just some very simple examples in our context, in our picture right now. I don't have glasses. I don't have too many socks, but the shirts I get from a service called Printful. Phil, do you get your glasses just at like a local glass place or any of those custom orders?
Zenni Optical. I go to Zenni Optical, Zenni.
Okay.
ZenniOptical.com. Yeah, these are like $20.
Okay.
So yeah, so I've got 3 or 4 pair of white ones that I wear, and I'll probably get a couple more. I just got some glow in the dark ones, but I don't wear them on camera because I don't broadcast in the dark.
So it's just $20 for the frames. You just like send them your prescription also.
Yeah, I uploaded it for shipped and everything, and they've got a military discount, Patrick.
Oh, there we go. And so, Beth, is that where you get yours? Because I see you shaking your head.
I think Phil turned me on to them.
Okay.
And these are Zenni. Mine cost a couple $100 because I have special eyes, but not a couple hundred, like 125. But I buy like 4 pair at a time. Oh my gosh, they're so fun and they're so cheap. And you can just buy, that's why you can buy 20. And some of them you can get your name engraved on them. And
it's those little things. That would be cool.
Like these are the photo, whatever, sunglasses, anti-glare.
Okay. Got it. So I'm going to pay attention to that because I tend to wear glasses when I drive and I don't take them with me on business unless I know I'm going to be driving on business. Like they'll stay in my car in the parking space. Like I travel out Sunday, they don't just stay in my car because I don't need them to get through the airport or to present with. But it may be one of those things that I may get some custom frames done and start traveling with those. So, okay.
There you go.
I don't need them either, except now I can't see y'all.
So you don't need them except for to see is what you're saying? Yes.
Otherwise, I'm fine.
You're just fine. You don't need them to sleep or for anything. How often, I guess my question is, how often, Phil, does that little splash of branding or color make any kind of difference? How often are you like speaking or you're in the elevator or you're out in public and somebody brings it up or it makes you stand out a little bit? I'm kind of curious as to how.
Almost all the time.
Does it?
Almost all the time. Yeah, for sure. Somebody mentioned something, right? Like, hey, nice glasses. Or now that I've got shirts with my logo on it, right? Now people are like, hey, you're Phil Gerby. Yes, I am. Thank you for noticing, right? And I do have 20 pairs, different colors of glasses. So I do have people that are like, hey, what color is Phil going to wear on the next live stream? And now that they're mostly white, right? I would say mostly because I'm actually considering stealing a page from Jay Baer. Jay lets people pick his plaid. I'm going to let people pick my specs when I go out and speak so that they'll notice them even more. Because if you get people participating, right, they're more bought in, right? So, yeah, but for sure, Patrick, I mean, a lot of people, they notice the orange. Most people don't wear orange. Most people don't wear white glasses or even my orange glasses, though, again, I kind of A/B tested and I get more comments about the white ones than I do about the orange ones. Now, it's really interesting. And I've got a pair of yellow ones that I really like that I'll wear with a blue shirt. And that stands out pretty much too. So it depends. But yeah, almost all the time, people notice it. People say something. Or the socks, right? If I'm sitting at the airport and I got cool socks on, because they're not just like cool socks. They're different than everybody else's socks. It's like, whoa, dude, nice socks. I'm like, thanks. And my friends even tag me on Facebook. Like, when that study came out like 4 years ago or 5 years ago, when, more creative people wear funky socks, I probably got tagged on that article 50 times, which is great, right? Because that means people are thinking of me.
Right. So, and now the same question for you, Beth. How often do people, in addition to your great content, how do people often bring up the unique things the subtle things that you do, or the things that you wear, or like the backgrounds in your videos? How often is that mentioned for you?
All the time, the time. And I made a decision a long time ago after going to a National Speakers Association meeting that every time I am going to an event, I want to look like a keynote speaker. in the airport, because I meet people everywhere. And so I got so used during the pandemic, not that I left the house, not that I leave the house really most of the time, but during the pandemic, I got so used to being anonymous, right? I would go out and I didn't have anything on. And I don't mean that like it sounds. But now I'm going back to events and I'm in the airport and I have a purse. I should get this purse. Go to someone else and I'll get the purse. Hold on.
Okay.
Tina, are you available? Where's
that?
Tina? Right,
Who?
we need somebody else, so we got to look for Tina. Somebody else. If it's just the three of us.
All right, so I got it.
There we go. She's
Okay.
Here's the purse I bring.
The telephone purse.
Like, I've had TSA make it sound like I'm going to be strip searched, and all they're doing is like, oh my God, look at her purse. Hold that purse up. You know, they're like, ma'am, step over here. Hold that purse up. Let me see it. Let me take a picture. And like people ask, like all of it, all the time. And it's, although it was organic, it's very deliberate. I wear custom Converse shoes with Nerdy BFF on them, custom Converse Chucks, high tops, everywhere when I travel. I wear a little bit of orange. I wear a nerd pin everywhere. And I got used to being anonymous, and now I'm no longer anonymous, and it's disconcerting. I'm not sure I like it because I don't need to be noticed.
Right.
But I need to look like a keynote speaker, and I need to look like I could step in and be on their stage when people see me. That's
got it.
Because I've traveled slouchy.
Yeah.
And without any kind of fanfare, and it's come back to bite me. I can remember I had cleaned out a basement in my dad's house, and then I asked him to go drop me off in Denver to. He lived in Albuquerque. I just said it's a short drive. No, he lives right outside of Denver. I said, go, please drop me off. Right. And I said, I'll just sneak in. You know, it's the middle of the afternoon or whatever. Well, I walk in and I'm filthy, and it was a group I'd already seen. They were lined up to check in, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's the nerd! Look, it's the nerd lady. Welcome! Oh, I'm so excited you're here!" And I'm like, melting.
Yeah,
like,
your house clothes or whatever it is.
With literal dirt on me. So it's very important to me. I never thought it would be important to me because that's not the kind of person I am, but it has become very important to me. And as someone who sells myself, I need to be the person they buy at all times when I'm out there.
Yeah, we are walking billboards. I think I've heard this term mentioned in National Speaker Association before. And I try to make sure that, for example, whenever I travel, that I'm always wearing a shirt that says "Stop Doing Nothing" on the front or the back, and there's always a website on there because it's a conversation starter. And it has brought in revenue. I have never measured that revenue, but for buying a $7 shirt, I can guarantee I've made that $7 over hundreds, if not thousands of times over. And it's a good conversation starter. I think something else that also helps is just being an outgoing person. In addition to the branding, has helped me get business in the airport, because it's once somebody brings up the unique thing that you're wearing, or that Beth is wearing, or that I'm wearing, or that Phil's wearing, it's the very beginning of a conversation. It cracks the ice, which is oftentimes very hard to do with strangers. My big thing now is I bought, I just thought of something. By the way, always be branding, and we're big Apple fans. Like, here's my AirPods case, and it says "Stop Doing Nothing" on the AirPods case right there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so you can do that on all your Apple stuff too. What was I going to say? Oh, a while back, I ordered like a couple thousand of my black "Stop Doing Nothing" bracelets. I don't know if you guys have seen these. And my goal with all those was to put those in a pack as part of a branding package you could buy. Now my goal is to make those icebreakers. So I always wear one when I travel, and I always have several in my backpack that I give away. And those have brought in like a little bit of consulting business, not a lot. But my goal now is whenever anyone makes a comment about it, I take it off and I give it to them so they remember that we had a conversation of some sort. So this may be creepy. You guys are going to have to let me know. I don't give them a clean one out of the bag. I give them the one that I'm wearing. just so
You're giving
make it
away your
seem like,
DNA so they can replicate you. That's an
that's
interesting
true.
maneuver.
Yeah, that's true. No, I want it to seem like scarcity. I want it to seem like, oh, this is the last one I have. Here, take it, kind of thing. But now you're
There you
scaring me
go.
that my DNA is just floating all over the world out there. So it wasn't before.
Sons
I
of
promised.
patriarchy.
Yeah, son of Patrick. It wasn't before, I promise. I don't care what you think about my shady path, Beth. My DNA was not floating all over the world before I started doing the bracelet thing. Okay, we talked about the importance of differentiating. We've talked about apparel stuff. I want to talk about, as we jump on our list of topics here, Phil, websites. There we
Yeah.
go. Where did you get? Because I remember you talking about this when I presented in NSA Florida. Where did you get the socks, and where do you recommend people buy unique items like that?
Well, if you just want to get a couple, I always look for a place I can just order one because I want to test it out. So I went to divvyupsocks.com. Really simple. You can put one face or two faces on the socks. So I went to divvyupsocks.com, and I really recommend, if you're like dipping your toe in, don't go order 1,000 pairs of socks. Instead, order one. Maybe order 2 or 3, right? And see what you like. See how you go. Divvy up socks. And then, I'm big on coffee cups. So I like a travel cup when I go. So I will put my logo on a travel mug. Again, I want to see how it looks because, frankly, they're going to suck all the color out because they don't print, they don't etch in color. So I go to cupsondemand.com and get my cups there, my travel cups. So again, just one. You don't have to invest a lot of money. You get it for $30, $35 and you're good to go. A pair of socks, $20, small investment, see if it gets the results you want and then go from there. But I like Printful, Patrick. We've talked about that before and I've looked at it. It's a WordPress way to do stuff and kind of print on demand things. So that's pretty cool as well. And then I've got a local person as well that I really like. Her name is Roz and she does a great job she's the one that I ordered the shirts from.
Got it. Okay, so you use Printful, you use Divvy Cups, you use Cups on Demand. Beth, I know I heard you.
Divvy Up Socks. Yep.
Divvy Up Socks. Beth, I know you mentioned Etsy. Is that all you've gotten from Etsy as the glasses, or have you bought other kind of custom items on Etsy?
I'm kind of an insane gifter.
Okay.
Like, I love giving gifts so much, and I put way too much thought into gifts. And here's why. I want people to keep and want what I send, and I want it to remind them of me and have it for a long time. I almost never send consumables. Take the video off me and I'll go get my little thing. I got a new thing.
So Phil and I can sit here and chat for a little bit about some topic like cottage cheese. Is it made in a cottage? It's not really cheese. What's the deal with cottage cheese, Phil?
Where's the curds and whey, Patrick? That's what I want to know. I mean, I'm from Wisconsin, and I never can find curds and whey. Not together. They're like separate. It's like they're never in the same room together, like me and Batman, right? Like, what the heck, man? I'm not saying I'm Batman, but I'm just saying.
You and Batman are never in the same room together.
It's weird.
Really quick, you were talking about Printful. I think this is where I got my batch of Stop Doing Nothing cups. And by the way, if you're watching, you're always welcome to have them because I have most of them. But I think it was very easy for me to order like 10 or 20 of these in a box. And I call somebody who lives in my world, I call them a playmaker. So I said, this cup is reserved for playmakers. And then it just says Stop Doing Nothing. Very simple, black and white on the other side. And it looks like
very nice.
Miss Z here has joined us. So what do you have for us, Beth?
All right. So I decided not to send a Christmas gift this year or holiday gift because, for one thing, my list was out of control. I was sending like 3 or more 100 things. It was insane. But so this year I'm working with a local person, and she is printing these little bags. And inside these little bags, so it's got the word nerd on it. It obviously won't have my name on it. It'll be personalized to them. And then inside this little bag, I don't have any of them, but it's going to have a coin. Do you know you've got your cables, all your cables that you use for charging,
right?
And this is a cable label, it actually slips over it and then snaps on. It's 3D printed and it
Okay.
has their name on it, but it's orange, right? So, and then I've got a few more things in there, including these little things. They are magnets. They're these
Okay.
cute little, I got them for my book too. So they're these little magnet bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Got it. Okay.
Right? So they're a little bit branded, but it doesn't, overkill. And then just all of it. One year I did these iPad or iPhone or phone rests, charging like chair rest things.
Right. Yep.
They were little rock filled bags, like bean
Okay.
bags filled with rocks. Do not make anything filled with rocks and send it. Just a little piece. But I had like a woman who was raising money for charity, and she was a veteran.
Mhm.
Do 150 of those that we sent out, and I picked out the fabric. It was all nerdy fabric, and then we had a little label on it that said handmade by a crafty veteran for your nerdy best friend. So it's all of it. I put so much energy into it. I do these. These are little collector's cards, I call them.
Right.
They have my favorite apps on them, so everybody wants one when we leave. But I have to give a shout out to somebody else who does a great job with this. Marilyn Sherman, she's a Hall of Fame speaker, and she's won all kinds of awards. She's the front row girl. And look at the kind of things she sends out. She
Oh
paints
my
these little
gosh.
chairs,
Wow.
and mine's orange, right?
Uh-huh.
And she sends them out to us. And I don't really know what to do with it, but I love it.
You're not going to throw it away.
Shelf with some of my other things, and that's the kind of thing that I am trying to share with people, so that it is handy, it is helpful, it is something that they enjoy. And every time I look at this, I think of Marilyn Sherman. It doesn't have her name
That's
on
top
it.
of mind. That's really good information right there. It's the being top of mind kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, I think there are certain things around the office. I just can't think of any right now, but I know even around my house, there are certain things that I keep, and they always remind me of that person and or of that company. Being top of mind is, just so important. And so you've given people a lot of really great ideas. So show me that chair again. There were some holes in there. Was that for cables? What was that?
It may be for cables. I'm not really sure.
Huh.
Like I said, I don't
put a
know
sign on there.
exactly what to do with
Yeah, a
it.
sign on
You can't
there.
really feed. You would have to have like the half. I don't know.
Oh,
Couldn't really
okay.
feed much through there, but they're just adorable, and it's instant. It's instant. I don't have to think about it. It is
Right.
Marilyn Sherman, and it is a charming artifact of what we've done together.
I did not. I know Marilyn, and I've been to her house. I think I've been to her house. Yeah, I've been to her house in Vegas, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I've been to her house. I've had wine with her and her husband. I did not know that she did really cool stuff like that. So that's really good to know. She's going to be a good resource to go to, and maybe I should have her on also, so we can talk to her about how she does that. Okay.
Well, she's done a lot of things too with her background and with her branding and with some of the things that she's doing to get out front. I mean, she's done fantastic things and has really moved forward.
That's
In the
good.
time when all of us were standing still, but she stopped doing nothing.
She does. The one thing I remember
She
about
stopped doing nothing. Yeah.
And Marilyn, I love you if you're watching. This is not a put down at all. But Marilyn does all that stuff, and she's not a super geek. So I remember I was going to NSA Nevada to speak, and she hosts a gig at her house the night before, and we had like barbecue. And if you're going to her house, you're going to have wine. And like I walk in the door doesn't close. She's like, Patrick, I need to edit video on my Mac, and my Mac keeps freezing up. And like I go like right into her office as soon as I walk into her house, because she had to get a video exported using iMovie or something. And she's like, Patrick, you are the geek. I look like the geek, but Patrick, you are the geek. So come in and so that's one thing I remember. And then just hanging out with her and her husband in the NSA chapter was pretty awesome stuff. I want to give another quick shout out, and this is not an endorsement at all, but the company Printful. I was looking into the world of drop shipping, and for those of you that don't know, drop shipping is when someone like Beth somebody can place an order with Beth to get a shirt or one of her pieces of swag, and she doesn't have to have them in the house. She can just print them from the internet. And Printful is a drop shipping company. Printful has a lot of items in there that you can brand. Some of the things that Beth brought up: coffee cups, shirts, socks. I believe it's just they're one of the top drop shipping companies out there. So if you're somebody who wants to get into this world of adding like an apparel line to your brand, I just cannot recommend Printful enough. And it doesn't have to be one of those things where you sell the items. It could be like Beth. It's like these are the things you give away as gifts, and you customize them and you have them all shipped to you, and then you could probably, I bet you Beth, I'm guessing Beth probably does like handwritten thank you cards when she mails stuff to people. Does that sound like something you would do all over the place?
I also save my passwords as no. No, actually, my team does.
Okay.
The person who is doing this for me is now handwriting the cards that she sends, and she's doing our drop shipping. Actually,
Nice. Very, very cool. So it's very personal. So you're
that's
still
a
doing
part
it in
of it.
bulk, but it's still very personal.
Yeah.
Okay.
My husband got angry at the giant projects of shipping and personalization, and everybody has to have 2 pair of glitter glass confetti.
Right.
Everybody has to have 3 of those, 2 of these. They don't just shove them in there. You have to play good, honey. That label is crooked.
Right.
He got angry, so
Got it.
we needed to keep our marriage and get rid of those projects.
So you push that out. Plus, it's time consuming, and it's better if somebody else does it who does it all the time anyway. So my whole point there is I just really wanted to revisit Printful. And if you're just somebody who ever wants to produce some of this branding or dip your toe in it, like I did, you don't have to go all the way, really hardcore like Beth did. You can again dip your toe in it. And like Phil said, dipping your toe or doing one cup or one pair of socks is really the way to get started without making a huge investment. I want to wrap up here, and I want to start with you, Phil. When it comes to like the branding or the standing out, if you had, let's talk about we often close our shows this way. Let's talk about that 30-second elevator thing. You're in the elevator, somebody says, man, those glasses are cool. I wish I could make my brand stand out like you. Oh, we're on the first floor. We got to get to the 5th floor. What can you give me real quick before I have to get out of the elevator, Phil? What tips can you share with me?
Yeah, so first I'd say, what are your favorite colors? What colors do you like? Do you like to wear those colors, or do you like to see those colors? If you like to wear them, pick something out that works for you. It could be a pin, could be a shirt, could be glasses, could be socks, doesn't matter. Pick that and go get it. It doesn't matter, right? Start there and see how that feels. Do some A/B testing. If you got 2 or 3 favorite colors, test them out. See what gets the reaction that you want, and see what makes you feel great. Because frankly, I need to wear my glasses because, like Beth, I can't see without mine very well. So it's cool. So that it makes my glasses, but it might not make sense for you.
Got it. So from you, Beth, same question. We're in the elevator, 30 seconds. You've got these really cool Converse shoes and this really cool shirt. I want that. How do I be more like Beth in the next 30 seconds?
I'm not good at this. I'm like, oh my God, Converse.com, you can customize your own. I have these made because no one sells them. And that's where I go, and that's all I do. So I'm not good at it. How about you, Patrick?
Oh, you know what? You really, I think, downplay yourself there, because I think you are great at it, but it comes natural and it becomes organic. So you wouldn't be, it sounds like there's no like Beth branding package we could buy from you. It's just someone could just follow you around for a day, I think, and see what you're doing and know that you're doing it right. It really is. So
I think that's right.
Yeah. Because I just noticed from the moment I met Beth that it was just Beth. It's a whole package. You get everything from the purse to the shoes to the socks to the pins. I would say for me, the thing I give people is find something that starts a conversation. I'm big in the world of lead generation. Lead generation starts with a handshake in the airport line. It's like, oh, that's a cool shirt you're wearing. Oh, what is that? What is your new best friend? What does that mean? If I was Beth, I'd be like, Beth is much more subtle than I am. But if someone said, what is yournerdybestfriend.com. What does that mean? I'd be like, oh, you want to know, huh? I'd like get out my fishing pole. Gotcha. That's how obvious I am. So you want to know what your dirty best friend is? Hey, Will. So, I'm not quite that bad, but I just like conversation starters. And the bracelets and the t-shirts to me are conversation starters. The socks are just fun. They really are. But the things that start conversations are, to me, just really the very beginning of the funnel. And I keep going back to the fact that I tend to be somewhat of a social person. I remember probably not 2 decades ago, maybe a decade and a half ago, it was pre-September 11th. I was in an airport line in Oklahoma City. And I had somehow made a comment to a lady who was a local government, headed up a local government contract office. And we just started I'm very outgoing, so I started some casual conversation with her. I found a reason to in the airport line because we were all stuck in the airport line. And that casual conversation led to, oh, what do you do? Well, this is what I do right here. Oh, I need someone like that. Well, you got a card? Let's do this. Yada, yada, yada. Get past security. We go on about our ways. She calls me, like a month later. Can you come to the office in Oklahoma City and do this work? No problem. Yada, yada, yada. Fast forward 5 years. That conversation netted me close to $1 million over the years I was in business, just from starting a conversation. So that's what I would tell someone is just do something to start the conversation. Really? Both of you guys have books. Let's make this our closing thought. Beth, tell me about the book that's coming up.
I don't know. It's called Tech Sparks. And
Tech Sparks.
Tomorrow, Tech Sparks.
Okay.
I think. And tomorrow I'm having a focus group because it's all about like these fun holidays.
Right.
And like there's a Find a Rainbow Day, and there's a Hike with a Geek Day, and there is a Customer Appreciation Day. And so I am, I think, the only person in the world who is matching these crazy holidays with apps you can use on that day.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with apps that matter for that. And some of them are business, some of them are lifestyle. I have, for every book that I write, and this will be my 7th, I go through about, I'm not exaggerating, 5,000 apps to come up with 300 to 500 that I can tell people about. And I evaluate each one, look at their reviews, look at the last date they posted, look at who's thinking of buying them, all these different things before I recommend them. So I'm in the process of writing that. This was my last one. This is the one that's on the shelf right now, the bigger book of apps.
Very cool. Was the previous one? What was the previous one? Was it just the book of apps?
The big book of apps.
The bigger. That was nice. That was a nice segue right there.
Yeah, and then we had the pack of apps, and then the book I mail merged is called The Little Book of Apps, which you can actually get for free in electronic format on my website, yournerdybestfriend.com.
She got us right there. Very cool. Now, Phil, did I hear you say you're working on a book right now? Your next book?
I am, yeah. So yep. So my next book will be Social Selling Essentials. It'll be all the things you need to start moving from social media to social selling, building relationships that last for service-based business owners and salespeople who want to excel.
Got it. Okay, so both of you have books coming out probably within the next, would I be accurate in saying maybe the next 6 months, 3 months, 12 months? What do you think?
Yeah, by the early January for me, yeah.
Okay, so next 6 months, or next 3 months for Phil. And what about you, Beth? 6 months?
I'm going 6. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're watching this now or anytime in the recent future, you might want to get on both of their email lists so you can get some information about those books. And of course, follow all 3 of us on social media all over the place. I don't want to list the places, but you know what? We're all on Facebook. We're all on LinkedIn. We're all on Twitter. I'm pretty sure we're all on YouTube. So make sure you follow all of us if you want to stay up to date with what we are doing. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you share the video. And you know what? Go out there and have a great, great day. And thank you, Beth, as always. Thank you, Phil, as always, for joining the Geek Fest. I just really realized I should have put myself in the middle Not only because
Yeah,
of
I was
pink
wondering why
pigment,
you put monkey in the middle. That's what you did. I
that's
appreciate
what
that,
it was,
Patrick.
but also
Nice.
color-wise. I didn't realize you guys
Yeah.
were both going to wear red. It would have been like a reverse
Or
strawberry
orange.
Oreo thing
You
going
mean
on.
we're not wearing red.
Orange.
We're wearing
I'm
orange.
sorry,
Patrick. Nice
wearing
try.
orange. And you guys, surprisingly, on my screen, your oranges are pretty close to the exact same orange. So that was
Yeah.
completely
It sure is,
unintentional
yeah.
there. That was very cool. But as always, everyone, thank you for watching. Thanks again, Beth and Phil, for tuning or joining me and just geeking out with me. Like I said, we could probably talk about several topics for several hours. So this was pretty fun. And don't forget to subscribe and watch the next show, everybody. Have a great, great day.